Welcome back, frenemies. I'm Chris. To my right, we got Sean. We have Ryan way far left, but in the middle, we have a special guest, Jake Ciely. All right. Before we get there, we have to do this special shout out. Before we get there, a special shout out to Tim Cook. If you're a bot or a person, please let us know because you like everything we do.
Our biggest fan, Tim Cook. Thanks for watching.
If I'm supposed to be friends with you on Facebook, let me know. I'm so sorry.
This is like you're used to the fans, but this is our first fan. We're a real fan.
A fan we don't know.
I don't have fans. I have reluctant followers.
Yeah. Anyways, going back to our special guest here, we have Jake Ciely sitting to my left. You can find his work on The Athletic, listen to his podcast, All In Sports, and follow him on Twitter. It's a fun follow. I had All In Kid. I like it when you go back in there and you kind of like retweet guys like, really? Think this over again? I just love it when guys come in there. It's like, oh.
They don't know what they're up against.
Yeah. It's like the made up, like, I know everything fantasy god. And it's like a picture of their homemade trophy with their dog. You know everything.
Sorry, no blue check mark, bro.
But, hey, Commish, start us off here. We got some breaking news that we're a little late on
I was
jumping.
Say, it's not breaking quite, but we haven't talked about it. Andrew Luck has retired. Breaking news.
If you were in a cave.
We just kind of wanted to give our little opinions on the Colts offense. Obviously, it's a big downtick, at least for me, for most of the weapons. I think T.Y. is hurt the least because he was highly targeted by Jacoby Brissett. But, like, I don't know. I'm looking more at like a 6th or 7th rounder for Marlon Mack, whereas before in the 4th, I was happy taking him.
Yeah. Jake, what are you thinking of?
Yeah, I ticked down Marlon Mack not that much.
Okay.
The biggest factor for Marlon Mack for me was the touchdowns because, let's face it, Jacoby Brissett has a nice arm, but Jacoby Brissett's not Andrew Luck. And it's mostly about the touchdowns for this offense. Actually, I think Jacoby Brissett came in around 22-ish, if I remember correctly. I don't know if you had the ranks up there or not, but I remember what the exact production was. But the biggest thing was, like, you look at Andrew Luck and you were thinking a potential 40 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly.
Jacoby Brissett, you hope he gets to 30. Probably not going to get to 30. So Marlon Mack's going to be affected, but mostly just, like I said, the rushing touchdowns. So I was with you and T.Y. Hilton.
Okay.
He moved from what was a fringe wide receiver 1 to now he's a low-end wide receiver 2 for me.
Yeah, that's about right.
And then after that, it's just the trickle-down water effect.
Everyone moves down.
Funchess, not really real. Yeah. I mean, you don't really even want him outside of buys now. Paris Campbell as a rookie. You go down to the tight ends, who's going to be both week because everybody's always, he targeted, you mentioned it. He targeted him a ton, but he wasn't efficient to Hilton, but he also targeted Jack Doyle a ton.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
But Funchess, Kane, Campbell, Hines, Mack, none of these guys were on the team back then, and especially Ebron. So I think the tight ends come in similar, but they're just going to be so volatile week to week.
Yeah. I agree with that. I still think they might be a playoff team, non-fantasy relevant.
Yeah, they're a lot better team than they were when Jacoby Brissett had them last time.
I think it's the Jaguars' division to lose at this point. Yeah, and the Jaguars almost made the Super Bowl with Blake Bortles, and now they got Nick Foles. So.
Exactly.
With DeFilippo, which that's a game changer, but we're diving a little deep on there. Man, Leonard Fournette, fantasy, please help us out. Gary, score some touchdowns for us.
Stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yes, and not suspended or whatever. It's always something.
And then, like, beat writers are so fun. He's catching the ball more. Okay, see that in the game. Yep. Anyways, let's go to our party question. All right, so our party cue this week. Name one video game from your childhood that you would still be boss at. All right, boss, that's all caps. Okay, all right, boss at. Because right now, I play Madden on a PS4, and I get beat by my kids on my team. I'm old. 30's old now, video game wise. No, I did that once on the phone. The kids invited me. I didn't have a kill at all. I was like the first kill. I'm like walking around. I'm like,
well, that's why I don't play Apex Legends. I run around for 5 minutes picking up weapons, and then I get killed. I was like, well, that was fun.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, where did you come from? I don't know. But anyways, Sean, I like your pick here, man. I was horrible at this game, but what's the game you be boss at?
All right, so I'm actually going to pivot a little bit because I think Ryan wants to talk into this point, my original pick. So I'm going to do Mario Kart. I'll keep it in the Mario family, and I would dominate some friends. Now I'm talking N64 Mario Kart, not GameCube, not Double Dash, none of that stuff.
Not 8 on the Switch.
Yeah.
No, I mean
I would have said Mario Kart until I recently played 8 against my nephew, who's now 8 years old. Or no, he just turned 9. And he's beating me now. Like, I used to dominate in the beginning, and like he's found out like all the tricks and everything like that. I'm like, well, I guess I'm officially old.
Exactly. But yeah, we had neighborhood friends come over all the time.
That's original, man.
I would
That's an OG there.
dominate.
I accept that challenge to 64, by
good.
the way.
All
I'll
right,
accept
it's
it.
in my house.
Okay,
Oh, man.
Ryan,
I
go.
have many memories of getting beaten by Sean on N64. And after the N64, I was like, what's going on? I can't keep up.
Yeah.
So if I had to pick one, I would say it would be definitely Super Smash Brothers, because that's the only game I've ever kind of felt like
Who's your
any
character?
sort of
That was my
confidence.
question.
Yeah, who's your
Fox.
character?
Yeah,
Fox?
Star
Really? That?
Yeah.
Wow.
I like the jumping and
That's
the
right,
kicking
yeah.
and the twirling. And
Oh,
the,
it was so annoying because I always
Yeah.
played Captain Falcon, who was slow, and you would play Fox, and you just would, death by 1,000 cuts with Fox.
your
Like,
guy?
But no, I would
Yeah.
and then
So
boom. you're-
people hate me, and it's not because he's cheese. If you know how to use him correct, I dominate with Meta Knight. I'm great at Meta
okay.
Knight.
Oh, yeah,
but
on, like,
it's just
the-
because he's so hard.
on the
He's
Wii
like
and-
Kirby, but
Yeah.
with actually good attacks. That's the thing.
Yep.
I don't have a
Knights.
character because I sucked at that game. I loved it. I was everyone's favorite to play because
My backup is Link. If you want to go back to the original,
Yeah.
even though he's kind of slow, but if you know how to use his power moves, like Ganon too.
Was it Ness? Was he not? He wasn't
Oh,
original.
Ness. If
Ness
you-
was nasty.
If you know how to use
Yeah.
Ness, I don't.
Right. Yeah. My friend did, and
You had to
yeah,
like
that sucked.
shock yourself in the butt to get
Yeah,
it
then
up.
jump
I was like,
around.
I can't do that.
The people who know how to use Ness are annoying as
Yes,
hell.
they are, and I could not play with anyone who did that. All right, so Jake, who you got? What's your game?
So I have proof to this
You have
being
proof
true.
to it.
No, so it's NBA Jam, and the reason I have
Nice.
proof is because recently when I was in New York for the Flex Drafts, the leagues
Mm-hmm.
that I have that I created for the experts people, is more of just to hang out. But we went to Barcade and there's a couple of them in New York, and me and somebody from the draft, two guys were on it, and we're like, hey, you want to play? Let's play, and we played. And the problem was, so my joystick wouldn't run down like towards the screen, like frontwards. So I couldn't go
important.
down.
Problem.
My partner had trouble running right, and we still won, and I still scored 42 points with like 18 rebounds. So I have proof that now I can be handicapped
Yeah.
and still win an NBA Jam.
That was an
There's
amazing
nothing
game.
you can't do, ladies and gentlemen.
I loved it. I loved that game. That was an awesome game. Who's the team you
Suns.
picked? Suns.
We run those Suns
all day.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I was going GoldenEye because that was just a fun game. Honestly, I'm a sports guy, Madden all day, but GoldenEye was the first game outside of sports that I played. It was just amazing. For some reason, I kept picking Boris because of the like Hawaiian shirts. Then you watch the movie, like I don't like Boris.
What was your favorite level?
Oh man, what was the one with like the walls that kept coming down?
Oh, I don't know the name of it, but I know what you're talking about. No,
You
I was
know?
like, I was Temple. I was Temple with rockets because you
Yeah.
could get somebody from the higher level.
Right, yeah.
I would dominate but you would have to play like that mode.
You did, yeah.
But I know what level you're talking about.
I can't remember because you can lose guys.
Yeah.
Around and then you're like, I was chasing you, and then you like come back around, get them from behind.
There's always
It's
the fun
hilarious.
perks like the paintballs and
Yep.
all like that
Yeah,
shit.
I know. That was wow. N64.
I know. Back in the day when you had to
Man.
go to someone's house to play video games.
amazing.
Well, and the best thing was you could literally throw it in the back of your car, and it's not gonna, like it
Yeah.
didn't
Right,
matter.
yeah.
That thing was not breaking. You could run the car over
indestructible.
I love
you
it.
lick it, blow
Yeah.
on it.
Oh yeah,
get back in.
The
You're
whole
good
like
to go.
hit it on your
about the
hands.
games?
Yeah.
Like the old school way of like messing with the games. Now you're like, oh, I have to get a better Wi-Fi. No, it's like hit it on there, little quick blow to dust it off.
You go back to the
Great.
original Nintendo, was push down and move it back and
Yeah,
forth
back and
until it
forth.
worked.
And everyone brought your controller to go in there. Yeah, on the small TV.
Purple controller was always coveted.
Yeah, there was like socialization. You know, we had to socialize with gaming. Now it's like, I'm playing a kid in China, and then your rage quits halfway through. Kid in China
mouse to
lost a
69.
match.
We always sound old on this podcast.
I
is
know,
what I've
right?
noticed.
That was just me with that was me with a VPN. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was bouncing everywhere. All right, so that was our fun question there. I think, man, we went a long time on that one. I don't
Podcast
care.
is over.
It is done. Now we're getting to a little more fantasy football questions here. Sean, I know you had a question that we are now interviewing Jake here, so we're going to pick his brain, get all of his secrets out for all of us to learn.
Every last
So this isn't
An
as
hour before my draft.
yeah, we're drafting. This isn't really quite a fantasy question that's going to help us tonight, but I just was curious, like, what got you into fantasy? Like, what's your like oldest memories of fantasy?
Yeah, so that's funny because I just did the local Virginia Beach Hall of Fame show yesterday. Same
Okay.
question. So it's like I got to run through the whole thing again.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good. It's interesting. So the fact is, it's like I've been playing fantasy basically most of my life, and the same thing is what I told him is because you talk about Madden.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who played the college game and the Madden game. By the way, that year when it first was, you could bring your players from the college game to the
Yes,
Madden game
I
was like
loved
the best
it.
thing ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I simmed the season to get to the off season. I wanted to GM. I wanted to trade. I wanted
Yeah,
to,
I was the same way. I didn't care about playing.
That's what I'm saying.
Go on the
I had
franchise vote.
I had a year where I had all 7 of my picks were in the first round. Like I
Yeah.
just like that was.
I'm trading
and
everything.
Same thing with the baseball. Same thing with everything. I've always and people say, what did you want to be when you growing up? And I played a lot of baseball growing up. I never wanted to be a professional baseball player. I wanted to be a manager. Like
Yeah.
what kid's like, I want to manage a baseball team.
I want to be a GM.
So I've always been, as you could tell, I've always been into the roster management, and I played it. And then in college, back in the day, this is going to date myself a little bit. No, this is forums. I don't know if you remember when forums were around.
Yes.
And I was on a Giants forum as a New York Giants fan. I'm now a disenfranchised Giants fan. I'm not really a fan right now. But I was, in the Giants, and we were talking fantasy, and I just started kind of giving out advice. And somebody actually, it wasn't even my idea. Somebody in the Giants forum was like, "Dude, why aren't you like writing articles or kind of doing rankings or giving advice because you're helping us out every single week?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, why not?" And I started allinsports.blogspot.com for whatever remembers Blogspot.
That's awesome.
So did that for 3 years and started sending my stuff to anybody and everybody who would listen. And that's when I got picked up by a site by the help of some people in the industry. That's one thing. It's tough to break in unless you know somebody.
Yeah.
And just kept churning. It was a second job. I was the internet marketing manager at Lillian Vernon out of college.
Okay.
So I was doing that and then this on the side for like 40. It's like a second job. It was a full 40
Yeah.
hours
Yep.
a week and just kept plugging along. And now I'm at what I would consider the 1%. Like I hate to say it to everybody out there that wants to do it, but I consider myself exceptionally lucky to be
Yeah.
the 1% that's actually my full-time job is write fantasy football and fantasy baseball.
Wow.
Like that's unheard of.
Yeah, I
We're a little envious, but
Yeah, I mean, well, and to be honest, like the job didn't exist 15, 20
didn't.
years
It's
ago.
true.
This is
Yeah.
a new market, and I did listen to you a lot during fantasy baseball season going in. I'm big. I'm a
good
roto
thing?
guy.
Good
Yeah, it was a good thing. Yeah,
I
waited on
you got last
pitching.
place.
It
I
hurt
will
me
say
this year.
one thing. So the commenters in fantasy football, 90% of them are like, "Hey, why do you think this?" Like open discussion. There's
Yeah.
still the 10% that are like, "Oh, you're a stupid idiot."
Yeah.
Baseball's the complete opposite.
They're just
like,
all trolls.
"Oh, why do you hate this person? You've ranked him at this spot. You're making it personal." I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm purposely ranking somebody just because of you. I want to keep them low. Like baseball guys are the worst because you know how it is. Like they think they just want affirmation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantasy football people are actually like really want
Give
the
me the
knowledge.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Because
As
it's
a
like daily
former
thing.
baseball player myself, I speak to how sensitive and caring we are.
I could never hit a curveball. So on that note, we're gonna go back to a fantasy football
Why
question.
pick you
Are you
up?
just being serious? Because I could never hit a slider.
Oh yeah.
So
I was like, when I saw a guy in there, I'm standing in high school watching the box, like, oh, that's what he's throwing. I step in the box. I'm like,
no, I could get it if it's diving down. If it's diving to the side a little bit, then I was
it
screwed.
got so bad to where I was like, can I walk? Can I? Oh, you called that a ball? Cool. I'm walking. I was like, this guy's throwing me curves all day.
I can never get over the inaccuracy.
So
you're
you're
there.
you're Jabu from Major League.
I haven't watched that
You're
movie
telling
in a
me
while.
Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
Come on. I need to do little chicken sacrifices in the locker room, things like that.
You realize we're only talking to like 1% of the people out
But
there.
yeah, nobody knows. Sorry, guys. Here we go.
That's not me because I don't like baseball.
I'm a big baseball fan. I watch. I watch all my Twins games. But it's an exciting season for me. So let's go to your disenfranchised Giants fandom.
Oh, yeah.
Are you drinking the Daniel Jones juice?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Everyone else seems like it.
Let me ask you this.
man.
Do we think Jimmy Garoppolo's the worst quarterback ever? No, it's preseason.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, there's certain things. I pay attention to two things in preseason. Injuries and legitimate job battles. Like,
Yeah.
And most of the times, it's not the starters. So, actually, the 49ers are a good point. I actually pulled back a little bit on Tevin Coleman, just because he has looked so awful and Matt Breida has looked so good.
Yep.
And one of the things I continuously said this offseason about the 49ers is we're making so many assumptions that Garoppolo's good, this offense is going to be good. Garoppolo hasn't played a full season with Pettis, Deebo Samuel. We could name every single player.
Yeah.
He hasn't. And a lot of people were saying, well, Tevin Coleman's coming back to Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Well, people seem to have forgotten that not only did Sarkisian basically copycat the offense the first year he was with the Falcons, he didn't change it all that much in the second year. Tevin Coleman basically is in a very similar offense. It's not like he's in a brand new offense that's going to make Tevin Coleman amazing. So those are like, that's one where like once in a while that will come into play. But the most important part are like who's getting the 1, 2, and 3 at wide receiver, who's the number one in the running back, and then are people coming back healthy from injuries. Outside of that, the starters, if they have a bad game or two. I mean, you guys remember this was Arizona Cardinals first week.
Yep.
Greatest team ever. Kyler Murray's going to be top 5. The second week, people are jumping off bridges, lighting themselves on fire.
Because he was so bad.
Yeah. And then the third week, they're like, oh, okay, maybe it's just one bad
It'll
game.
be okay.
Like that's
preseason,
football.
fellas.
Yeah. No, I get you on that with the Daniels. I just love the media push that they'll just put up like his stats. They'll update his stats here. I'm like, that hardly equals one full game against
It's a
like
comparison
twos.
they're comparing him to Eli Manning. Of course he's going to look good.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm drinking the Daniel Jones juice.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just because, I'm a narrative guy. And I'm like, come on, man.
What's the narrative? What's the narrative that Gettleman was right?
Everyone hates you.
No,
and
everybody
you have
hates
a chip on
Gettleman.
your what?
Everybody hates Gettleman.
It's not Jones, it's Gettleman, the GM.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody
That's
hates
the worst case scenario.
I feel
That's
bad for the kid,
So
but
I'm always happy to eat crow.
yeah.
I pray so hard this doesn't happen because I just don't want Gettleman to be. I want him off this not roster. I want him out of this team. Like I don't want him. I want him fired.
Yeah.
And if he hits on Daniel Jones, I'm just going to be so aggravated.
Yeah. Okay, well, you go the opposite end because a lot of Giants fans
Only
now
one.
are like vindicated. Yes, we have Daniel Jones. Look, haha, he's a great pick. It's like this.
I
is
still say
preseason.
his ceiling is Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got to spin it to Sean here. What about your Dolphins putting Fitzpatrick over Rosen?
I think it
worth
was
the
the right move to
second-round
start.
pick?
I don't think they should have given it to Rosen if he didn't earn it.
Yeah.
But they'll turn to Rosen. They got to figure out what the heck they have.
Well,
in him.
here, let me ask you this as Dolphins fans, because this is how I see it play out. Is Rosen, for all intents and purposes, should start. He should be. You find out if you got lucky with
Exactly.
this draft pick trade. Which,
That's the point of this year.
Yeah, it's a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
And if you miss out, the Saints were stupid enough to trade up and give you guys a second, so it didn't matter anyway. Point being, but to this point, if Rosen comes out and bombs in week 1, everybody's going to be like, oh my God, we wasted the trade.
Exactly.
However, if you wait for Fitzpatrick to have one of his bad games, which is going to happen,
Yep.
and then you bring in Rosen can still have a bad game, and it won't be as bad because they'll be like, oh, right, at least he's rescuing us from Fitzpatrick.
Exactly. I just hope they don't hold on. Like they have a Patriots head coach, or came from the Patriots, and I just see him wanting to win, and I'm scared they're going to just stick with Fitzpatrick.
Oh, they're not winning.
I hope they're not winning. I'm with you on that. So it'll be Rosen in sooner rather than later.
My favorite pick from Miami in my couple drafts I've done is like wait forever and pick up Balaj.
Balaj.
So I'm like, things are just going to
I'm
screw
starting
up
to not
there.
even
Drake's always
want that
hurt.
anymore, man. They're just gonna be so
Let
bad.
me pick Balaj. You might get some time there when there's nothing else to do and everyone's just fighting for a contract.
There's
Like,
two things with that. One is Balaj athletically is extremely gifted.
Oh, man,
he's a
when he gets
terrible
out there.
running back. He doesn't know how to play running
Exactly.
back. He's Darrell Green Beckham.
It's a good way to describe it.
Yes.
It's like Darrell Green Beckham was an amazing. There's a reason he's out of the league. It's because
Yeah.
he can play wide receiver. That's the concerns with DK Metcalf. But what to your side point is like you're saying, oh, whatever. And I heard you in the background is the fact is like, why are we getting so excited about an RB battle in what should probably be the worst offense in the
Yeah.
league? Like,
Exactly.
what are we hoping he scores 4 touchdowns?
I was like, back into the. I was like, back in. I'll just get him. Who knows where that offense is going? I want the
Today we
RB2.
traded for 2 like bottom of the barrel offensive linemen to show you where our offensive line's at. So
That's pretty weak too. The only person I want on that team is Albert Wilson or maybe Gesicki if it's like a deep league.
yeah.
Yeah, I just love Gesicki. Anyways, going off of Giants and Dolphins.
Great start.
Great start to it. Okay, yeah. Who's
Lots of fantasy
Who's
in
your
that.
breakout player this year in fantasy? One
God,
guy
there's
you
so
said
many.
you got to go. I know.
Like, so you guys know the footballers. They're
yes,
they're
yeah.
like, give us your MVP, and I kind of cheated and named.
I was
like,
watching that when they were like following
Yeah.
along as you were saying it.
And I'm not gonna claim all those guys. I actually texted Mike after that because I saw him laughing. And I was like, no, I'm still claiming Josh Jacobs as the MVP, but like my breakout guys completely is actually Christian Kirk. Like so, Christian Kirk, I was a huge fan of coming out of the draft last year. I think people pigeonholed him into a slot receiver, which I didn't think he was. I think he is more than that. I think you're going to see that. Actually, you saw it last year.
Yeah.
And I think if this offense is going to be what everybody thinks it's going to be, he's the number 1 wide receiver, not Larry Fitzgerald at this point of his career. And in this offense, he could be, and I have him as a top 25 wide receiver.
Wow.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Actually,
there.
here, I pulled up the rankings just in case we had to reference it. Hashtag check the link.
There we go.
He's 26. I lied by 1 spot. Actually, D.D. Westbrook jumped him, but this is, I mean, what are we talking? Less than a point.
Listen,
So which of us 4 or 3 is going to draft Kirk tonight?
All
I
three.
can't say that. I'm looking at D.D. Westbrook, actually. I really like
I
him
like
there.
both of them.
Yeah.
If you
Someone's
get
got to
both of them.
catch the ball. They're playing him outside
Preseason hype.
in
though.
Arizona.
Do any of you have a pick on the turn?
I'm close to the turnout of these guys.
I was going to say, you might be able to double tap them.
It's
on
like, boom, gotcha.
5th, 6th round. And
there you go.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, Didi's like my like I want to wait. He's my steal. And then if you got guys who game plan, everyone's like waiting, like when's it too early to grab Didi? And then that guy does. You're like, dang it, he's graded down here, and you took him around ahead
all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
all the time.
It's usually Ryan that's doing it. Actually, he's a reacher.
Yeah.
Again, we're still talking football.
Yeah.
Ryan's there smile. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
That's the downside to waiting to draft now. Like, it's ideally you avoid all the injuries, but a month ago, you could get Didi Westbrook in like the 9th round.
Exactly. Yep. All right, last question here, Jake. What is your biggest pet peeve on draft night? When you're drafting with a bunch of guys, hey, I know you're in the A-lister league, the 1%er league, but if you were with a bunch of just Ryans, what's the
average Ryans?
What is the biggest pet peeve you see on draft night?
Well, the biggest pet why do you have kickers?
Well, the kickers,
Besides that. Well, I mean, that's the biggest one. Why are you taking a kicker before the last round?
Yeah.
The same thing with defenses, though, too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, people... I would hope know that by now.
Yeah.
You hope.
People made the mistake of last year. The Jaguars are worth a 9th round pick. Yeah, so how'd that work out for you? Good job.
Yeah.
I'll give you a tip. I'll go see. You know what? No, I'm not going to say. I'm going to see which one of you do it today. I'm going to be very interested. I have a defensive pick that I'm kind of interested to see. The biggest one is stop wasting your bench. And what I say by stop wasting your bench is stop drafting guys that are only like, oh, well, I could use them on my bye week. Who cares? Like, if that's your only purpose of having the guy on your bench, he's not worth it. Draft upside.
Yeah.
Those guys of Frank Gores of the world are always going to be on waiver wires, and there'll be people that pop up by the time you get to your waiver or to your bye weeks. The biggest problem is, like, you want to go shoot for, like, a good example was obviously LaShawn McCoy didn't get cut. Well, I mean, we got, 12-ish hours to go? A little bit more than that. It still could happen, but like draft Devin Singletary instead of Frank Gore or TJ Yeldon even on the same team because Devin Singletary could take that job.
Yep.
The other guys, who the hell cares? They're not going to bring you anything. And I think
Yes.
that's the biggest thing is people waste their benches with these, I got depth for my buys.
Yeah.
That's the biggest waste.
Yeah, and then they're the ones that keep them forever instead of like
Look at last
dropping
year. James Conner, Patrick Mahomes, Philip Lindsay. All 12, 13, 14th round picks last year.
Yep.
Yep. I had a waiver wire pickup in our draft, Mahomes. After week 1, everyone's like,
I mean, it's
skip
endless.
him, yeah.
Camaro that one
Stinker.
year. It's just,
I know.
Kamara's another good one just a couple years ago.
Yep.
So that's the biggest thing. I agree totally on guys who were just holding them back for that. Like, go the upside. Good thing the rest of the league won't watch that because that running back in Buffalo, he's my guy. He's my guy, deep, middle, late. I'll tell these guys all the time. He'll overdraft them for me, then I don't waste it. But I was like, hopefully drop, and I'll take them. But yeah, I totally agree with that one. Sean, you have anything to add to that?
No, I just want to say thanks, Jake, for joining us. We are getting started here, and he's kind of helping us out by being on the podcast with us, so we appreciate it.
Of course, I feel like I took all your time.
No, it was about you.
The name on my script here, it says Jake Ciely episode, so it's all right.
Yes, all of that.
That's how I treat my own podcast.
Do you have anything to push out there as we sign off? Any
I mean, you already
articles?
mentioned
Nothing?
it. The easiest thing is to follow at All In Kid because I tweet everything out. But the All In
Yeah.
Sports Podcast at The Athletic. Hey, look, for the people that listen to you guys, go to The Athletic .com/All In Sports. It's 40% off. So there you go.
There you
If
go.
anybody out there
appreciate
listen to you
that.
guys,
Awesome.
like for your listeners.
Thank you.
I mean, it helps me too because it look good.
Use it as a slash thing. But all right, guys, thank you for watching and listening. Make sure you like and subscribe. As always, tell your grandmothers about us so that the nursing home can start liking and subscribing.
Others.
All right, see you guys.
Deuces.